Scream Queens.
Welcome to Screen Queens, the podcast where two comedians who are hot, sexy, cool, fun watch things on your screens and talk about it. I'm Beck Charwood. I'm a comedian, podcaster, writer, and about to be on television in a few weeks. I don't have the date yet, but stay tuned.
TV star extraordinaire fucking there. And I'm Alex J. I'm a writer, producer, temperate woman today.
Temperate? What does temperate mean?
Temperate. It's just a lovely temperature outside. I'm feeling not too cold, not too hot. Sorry to brag because I know you are in chilly Melbourne.
Chilly Melbourne. Wait, what's the temp over there?
In terms of Celsianos, we're looking at a nice 19. Sorry.
Ooh.
So sorry.
No, honestly, it probably could be 19 degrees here, but I'm such a wuss that I'll be like, oh, what is it, like -5?
Oh my God, what are we at? Ice age?
It's just hit 14 degrees, so that's exciting.
Ah.
Yeah, but it has gone down to like 8 and stuff, which is fun. I'm learning, I'm growing, but if anyone has any coat shop recommendations for Melbourne, I would love. I have one and it's good, but I would like a slightly more stylish one.
I love a coat. I just recently bought a new puffer for my walk to and from train station to work journeys.
Oh,
and
lovely.
cannot recommend a puffer enough. And it's got a little woolen, little sheepskin trim around the nape there.
Ooh, cozy, comfy.
Cozy as fuck, dude.
See, I can't do puffer jackets because I have like quite broad shoulders, so I look like a giant square if I have if there's any extra material there, it goes. And I won't ever know. I love my broad shoulders. They're beautiful. They're handsome. Hannah Waddingham has broad shoulders and she's a beautiful woman.
Well done. Good.
I just need celebrities to have one feature the same as me, and I'm like, and we're the same. And they look just as cute on me.
We'll get into Hannah Waddington's shoulders because I could not stop staring at them.
Oh my God, sexy.
So you wouldn't have potentially thrived in the 80s with the shoulder pad situation?
No. I mean, I think it would have tricked people into be like, this has shoulder pads, but it was just my shoulders. I mean, I probably save a lot of money for being real. I don't have to have these fake shoulders like ladies do in those days.
Oh my God, don't get me started on all the shoulder filler that happened back in the 80s. How was that never a thing? Anyway.
What's been happening with you, my love? I'm so far away from you.
I know. We miss each other so much.
I cannot believe I've only been away for 2 weeks. I sat down before the record. I was like, oh my God, I've been here for like so many weeks.
And I believed you. I did not fact check that at all. I would have, if you'd pushed me, I would have said 4 weeks at least. It's been 2.
It feels that long. I'm having a great time, but it's just a long ass time to be away from home.
But you've been doing some very cool things. And like you said, you're going to be on Televisione very soon.
Yes, I'm working on Spicks and Specs and the new season starts, I think it's June 9th. And I don't know when my episode is going to be on, but I will be very loud and annoying about it on social media.
Hell yeah. And then you can jump across to our Patreon and we'll talk all about the BTS of it.
Oh my God.
Well, there was a little bit of BTS of it in last week's Patreon episode, actually.
Yeah, and we're only up to filming episode 4, and we have 10 more to go. So
you called a comedian a see you next Tuesday to his face. Very famous one. So that was fun.
Oh, speaking of gossip.
Yes.
Before I get into how you have been, we have a little, not an announcement, just a little update for everyone. You might have noticed that we didn't put an episode out on Monday. And that's because with our gossip episodes, we're taking a little step back and we're only going to do Monday gossip episodes if there's something like gossip worthy.
Yes. Yeah. So when we started, I mean, we're in like week 15 now, we were saying. So we've been doing gossip episodes every Monday. And I think we were just blessed with a lot of cool gossip to talk about. J-Lo released her music video film in like week 2 of this podcast. So we were blessed by the gods. But we only want to put out, top tier content for you guys, of course. So we are just going to wait until a specific pop culture comedy story.
We love a comedy story. Believe it or not, as comedians,
comedy.
that's like maybe all we talk about in any hour of the given day.
So we're just going to wait until pop culture gossip stories pop up that we feel like ranting about, that we feel really strongly about, have really hard opinions on, and then we'll pop up the Monday Gossip Peps intermittently when stuff comes up. So on that, we also want you guys to let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about that's going on. We'll jump in the studio and get that done.
Yes, please get in our DMs and tell us what you would like.
And yeah, it will likely be stand-up comedy gossip more than anything. Did you see Jerry Seinfeld's come out again being like, there's no real men anymore?
What?
He's gone full MRA, guys. It's crazy.
There's no real men anymore?
Yeah, he's like, real men don't exist anymore. I'm a boomer.
What are you on about? There's never, literally look at any of the offshoots of Joe Rogan's podcast. There's heaps of men.
So many
There's heaps
dudes.
of your like trad men around.
Trad men.
It's like you're in the arts. Of course, it's like it's a lot of gentler men in the arts, dude.
Exactly.
Buff boys, there's very few buff boys.
I just love how he's moved away from
stand-up comedy.
His lane, which is sitcoms, right? That was his last rant that we spoke about on a Gossip App, was about sitcoms can't be funny anymore. And he's fully like left his lane, and now he's just like, men aren't men anymore. Oh, you're a social commentator now, are you?
Oh my God,
Jerome.
I work for Chappelle, so I guess it's just the blueprint now.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yuck.
So that's our little updates for the podcast.
Oh, actually, sorry, I have one more update.
Please.
Some of you may have seen, if you are into Australian music, that I did a little sketch with Lime Cordiale and Ballpark Music, who have been pretty much my favourite Australian band since I was a teenager.
So cool.
And it was to announce like they're doing a tour together. And I'm very proud of it because I also wrote it. And
you wrote it. You starred in it. It came out so good, my love. It's so freaking funny. I've watched it like 3 times in a row. I'm obsessed.
Oh my God, thank you. That means so much. Because also it was so scary pitching comedy, like dumb comedy to very
Sketch
cool
comedy.
musicians. Like the first time I read them the script, their faces were so
because there's some really funny, silly lines in there. So imagine reading it cold.
Yeah, I read it cold, and then they were just kind of like, okay. I was like, wait, let me do some silly voices.
Yeah, just let me get in position. This is where a cut will be, because the editing is so much part of the comedy of sketches as well, right?
Truly.
So you're like, quick jump cuts here. Imagine.
Yeah. And also I had no hand in the editing, so I had no idea.
Wow, it came out great.
Yeah. I'm very stoked of how it came out because I was very nervous. I'm like, this is really, you're right. It really did depend on editing, and they did good.
For comedy, so much of comedy is in the editing, right? Especially with this, like, oh God, I sound so old, but social media and reels being under 90 seconds, you've got to get like 20 punchlines out in 90 seconds. It has to be, it's so much to do with the editing.
Well, now you can do reels up to 3 minutes.
Only for some selected accounts.
Oh,
We're special.
One of the special people.
We're special.
But I don't like, it's too, I used to hate the 90 seconds until now I don't have to have it.
I don't like the freedom.
No boundaries.
Yeah.
Yucky.
It's hard because, like, often in a comedy podcast reel, like, the joke or the big laugh is at the end of the reel, right? And then now I'm like, oh my God, I've got too much time for filler. But this is important too. No one's watching anymore. They've tuned out.
Okay, but that's all my things.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm well. Oh, tonight Luke and I are doing take 2 of his birthday dinner, which I'm really excited for.
Oh my God, finally it's happening after you both got COVID at the same time.
We both tested positive the morning on his birthday. And so we obviously had to cancel the dinner that night. So we're doing take 2 tonight, which I'm very excited for. Oh. And a crisp 19 degrees for it. Thank you, Sydney.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to maybe pop on that. Oh, no, you won't need a puffer at 19 degrees. You'll be fine.
No, my gosh. I'll just wear a light jacket.
A cardigan, perhaps.
If I will. But today,
Yes.
We are here to talk about a new film on a big screen.
Yes. We're doing a big screen today. And the movie is Fall Guy, which isn't an Australian movie, but I also feel like it is because it is shot here. It's all American stars and director, but
everyone else is filled up with Australians. So the fully Australian crew, the entire stunt team was Australian. Every little bit part and extra and smaller role is probably an Australian or a Kiwi. Like, it's very much an Australian-American production, hey?
yes. And also some of the, sorry, I said all of the cast is American. No. There's several supporting cast members who are Australian, including Ben Knight, who is a comedian who we've known for years, who has like a fairly chunky role in this.
Yeah, a really big role.
Really big role. Big role for a big boy.
Yeah.
And we are going to be interviewing him on our Patreon episode next week. So he's going to be giving us all of the BTS goss and everything.
Including, what does Ryan Gosling smell like?
Oh my God. Yes. He's going to tell us about all of the smells and sensations he felt on the set of Fall Guy. So if you want to listen to that, head over to our Patreon.
Yes. I'm so excited to talk to him because I'm sure he's done a bunch of press for this film. I can't imagine he's going to have been asked as nearly as horny a questions as we'll be asking him.
Oh, no. I'm going to be like, that jawline. You've always had that. Okay. And you've just been around.
You've just been around and you've been hiding it? I don't know. Have you been wearing COVID, the face mask. That's why we missed it.
That's what it was. Yeah, so head to the Patreon if you want to hear that next week.
Yes.
But we'll be giving our thoughts and feelings. So,
today.
Alexia, did you like this movie? You've seen it twice now.
I have seen it twice now. So I was lucky enough to get to go to the advanced screening / premiere, but no famous people went to the premiere, which I have spoken about on the Patreon a few weeks ago. And it was so fun to see it at the movies, but I was really happy to get this second time around. So the first time at the premiere with everyone's excited and cheering, and there were so many cheers for when people showed up on screen, obviously small Australian actors that people in the audience knew. So I was really happy to see it again second, just with Luke and just properly watching it for the podcast. And I love it. I have so much fun in this movie.
It's a really fun movie.
Yes. And I think I wasn't expecting it. I think I was expecting it to be more action and less comedy, silly. But to me, I think, especially on the second rewatch, the comedy silly seemed to overtake the action for me.
Yeah. Gosling, he's on a comedy role now after Ken.
Big time.
Big shoes to fill. No musical scene in this, but I still liked it, which I think is the biggest compliment you could ever give to someone.
Despite no musical scene. How did you feel about this movie, my love?
I liked it. It's really easy watching. It's action packed, but also not stressful because it's a movie about stunts. I mean, so a lot of the stuff. It's it is what made it I think so easy is the acknowledgement that there's a lot of stunt guys in movies, and so then when all of the stressful scenes were happening, you're like, it's okay. These are stunt guys.
It was meta almost.
Yeah. Another double layer of something I found very funny was, and this is spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen it. So the title is Fall Guy. And I was like, oh yeah, because he's a stuntman and they fall. But then the plot of the movie is that he is the fall guy.
I didn't even.
For a murder.
You're so smart.
And when it got revealed, I was like, oh, it was there the whole time. They called the movie the plot of the movie. It should have been the Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy squared.
Yeah.
You're so smart. It's like you've been reviewing movies for about 6 years now. It's crazy.
But yeah, it added a really nice layer to it and it also made it so much more impressive, and I think would have put a lot of pressure on all of the stunt people in it because it's people are going to know that these are stunt people, so people are going to be eagle-eyed.
Watching out more specifically for shit, yeah. It's also I've seen a lot of stuff online about it's a movie for crew. it's a real celebration of crew.
Something close to your heart.
Exactly. My fiance is a crew member. He's a cameraman. So like it was cool watching it, and just I obviously hugely respect the work that he does, but famously it is behind the camera, so it's not very visual a lot of the time. So to see just like, oh my God, this is your world, and to see the BTS of a film in the film, I was just like, babe, this is cool, man. You do a cool job.
It is and I think people don't realize how many crew members go into producing and like making something like this, and the work that they do is people pull like 20-hour days on sets for movies and stuff of like, you know, setting up just like all of like the little props and making sure that logistically everything's working. Like even on Spicks and Specs, there is like a team of 6 writers for the script, and a huge part of the show is the quiz, and like people create so much comedy in the moment, but there's still that amount of people just to get there, the backbone of the show essentially. And then there's like so many producers and everyone, but it's like probably I think about like 70 people behind the scenes.
Wow.
To put on an episode. So I don't even know how, like a movie like this would be.
Right.
It makes sense why these credits are so long. It's like there's a lot of people. There's like a lot of people involved in making movies.
Okay, I understand why I have to wait so long for an after credit scene now.
Do you have to watch the credits with Luke?
All the time, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just likes to see. He's not like looking for people names he knows or anything. Well, in this one he was. But usually we do just to see, how many grips there were, I guess. How many? I listen. I promise I do. So I just really, really enjoy that this, like, because, I mean, you just don't get to see a lot of celebrating the crew of stuff in Hollywood. And it's so interesting. I would have loved to have actually seen the set of this, because in the movie, they're so often shooting the whole crew. So I was saying to Luke, like, so they have double crew, because that's just in front of camera crew. And then they have the actual crew that's actually shooting the film. So,
oh my God, that would get so confusing. Because people will be like, we need a makeup artist. And it's like the real one or the acting one. Like, also that would feel so weird, because there would have been people like actors that had to audition for those roles. I wonder if there's like or like people on set who are like, who have to film actors doing their job and be like, that's not how we fucking do it. Literally, 100%. I could have just stepped on the other side of the camera and done this so much better.
100%. Although I do think they did get, because Luke was recognizing a lot of people, because he actually did a promo for Fall Guy, like shot a promo thing where it was like they were coming, the stunt guys were like, fighting on, you know, the big billboard that is facing the Anzac Bridge, that big area.
If you're in Sydney, you know the one.
You know the one.
It's the most iconic billboard in Sydney.
And so there's a lot of stunt guys like bungee jumping off and having fights with crew and stuff. So he met a lot, like the stunt coordinator, he met all those guys, and he recognized, so a lot of the time they actually, I think, did get the real stunt coordinator to be a stunt guy on camera and stuff.
Good.
Which is cute.
And save some goddamn money as well, you know.
You're already in costume. Get out there. So I learnt a few things from Luke whilst watching it. So the director, David Leitch, is actually a former stunt guy.
Oh.
Which is cool.
That's cool. That makes sense why. It's clearly a love letter to stuntmen.
It's, fully.
And women.
Fully. Yeah, and his wife is the executive producer of this film as well. Which,
oh my God, we love a couple projects.
Yeah.
Hot, sexy.
Mm-hmm. And also, this is something I learned at the premiere, because they had the director come out and do a little Q&A speech beforehand. So you know how they talked about the barrel roll that they did at the beginning of the film? And it was this big barrel roll. And then Hannah Waddington's camera later says, like, you broke a record. They actually, the Fall Guy movie did break a world record for the most amount of barrel rolls. Like, that is actually breaking a world record, what we saw.
Oh my God. In our country, on our soil.
On our side.
Something exciting and groundbreaking happened. That's so sick. Because, I did wonder, there was multiple shots of it. And And I was like, this would have been so hard to shoot, like, because it was showing the shots inside the car, which is usually. Now I'm confusing myself of what's real and what's fake.
It's meta. It's fucking meta.
I'll tell you, my favorite part was like seeing parts of Sydney that I knew, and I was just like, ah!
It was also a love letter to Sydney. Like, it made Sydney look fucking good.
No, Sydney looks good regardless.
That's
it just
true.
recognized
Yeah, that's
finally
true.
that it's a hot, sexy city.
It is hot, sexy city.
So pretty. It's stunning. Like Melbourne is really easy to get around, and I think that's awesome if you live here. But as someone who's visiting, hard on the eyes.
On the eyeballs,
Hard on the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. All those aerial shots coming into the harbour and
Exquisite. There was also a scene shot at these apartments in Piedmont that I walk past when I do like my little mental health walks in the morning, and I was like, oh my God. I'm such a basic bitch when it comes to celebrities. I'm like, they were standing in this spot. Isn't that crazy? And Skip's like, does it mean anything? I was like, it means something to me. I don't know what it is.
Don't ask me any further questions. Just let me have this. Well, we don't get that very much. I mean, we did over COVID, but we weren't allowed to out of the house whilst these cool things were being filmed. So we just, like, it's cool to think about, like, they would have had to shut down the Harbour Bridge. I remember that day they did that. It was huge.
Yeah, everyone in the city was like, they're shutting down the Harbour Bridge. That's like, it's like basically shutting down the whole city. Because even though it's like an iconic piece, it is the quickest way to get to the other side of the city.
Yeah. I mean, there's tunnels underneath, of course, but.
No, why? I mean, I understand it's like probably faster in the tunnel, but if you go over the bridge, go over the bridge. It's
you don't
so
get reception
pretty.
down there. It's scary when the GPS doesn't work.
No. I mean, also, this has made me really want to watch Anyone But You, because that was also filmed in Sydney.
Was it?
Yeah, and I'm so surprised we haven't watched it yet, because
Cool.
it is Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, people that we love.
And it's, that's the rom-com that everyone was like, finally a rom-com, but ooh, do we like it? Let's do it. I want to do that.
Yes, great, because it's also on streaming now, so we don't have to
Perfect. We don't have to leave the
buy
house.
tickets, which we love to do. We love to support cinema, but
course.
also there is a Cosy Lives.
Big old Cosy Lives. Speaking of noticing and recognizing areas, there's a big scene at the very beginning of the film where they're driving, like racing through a car park. And I am convinced, and I saw this film with Alexi and I said this to him and he confirmed he thinks it as well. I'm convinced that is the Comedy Store car park.
No
they
fucking
filmed in.
way.
The one at Moore Park at Fox Studios, for anyone which makes sense because it's Fox Studios, right? It's right next door.
Oh, yes. And I looked at the Wikipedia, they did film it there. So that makes so much sense.
How fun. It was like so weird. Feel like I've driven that car park with anxiety in the pit of my stomach so many times.
Oh my God. And then like at the end of the night when you just want to get the fuck out and you're stuck in a queue for ages. I mean, you get to know the place really well when it's
You
like
really
30
do.
minutes to go down 3 levels to get the fuck out.
And then you forget that you've forgotten to validate your ticket for
Oh
van
my
parking.
God.
You
So
have to
it's
pay
$30,
$30.
so then you're not making any money from being there.
So that was, I didn't know I had emotions attached to a car park, but apparently I do to that one.
I mean, it's rare that you recognize a car park like that.
That's true. That's true. Just a little shout outs to other Australian people that we saw. David Collins from the Umbilical Brothers.
I screamed when I saw him. I was like, father of sounds.
Father of sound.
Oh my God.
And he was the audio guy in
Yeah.
the film. That's cute.
Meta. Okay, there's so many layers. This movie is fun, easy, but also deep.
Complex.
Also, another face on there that I loved was Teresa Palmer, who played the crazy girlfriend. And I was trying to think, I was like, where do I know her from? She is in Warm Bodies.
Oh, I never saw it. Okay.
Which it's
I remember that.
I don't know if it's a good film, but it's a weirdly horny film
Okay.
about a woman that falls in love, or a zombie that falls in love with a woman. And it's also Nicholas Hoult is in it,
Yes.
who I love. I have a deep crush on Nicholas Hoult.
He's very cool. He's very cool.
She's been in a ton of shit, but it was cool to see her. And also doing an Australian accent.
Yes.
Because for a second I thought it was fake.
Well, they always do sound fake. Natural Australian accents when around an American accent heavy film always does sound fake. It sounds put on. It sounds silly. But I think it was her real voice. I think, yeah. Also, David Collins is in Furiosa as well.
He's been busy.
Killing it, yeah. Busy man. Nash Edgerton played the cab driver. So Nash Edgerton is Joel Edgerton's brother and a famous Australian. He directed Mr. In-Between. He was the guy that made Mr. In-Between come back to life.
Oh, my God.
And so he was. I feel like there's just so many little like fun cameos from the Australian film industry throughout it.
Wait, is Joel Edgerton from Perth? I feel like he is.
Probably. I feel like a lot of our industry's from Perth.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented people that come out of there. Blacktown.
Oh. That's nowhere near
I
Perth.
swear to God, there was 2 brothers out of Rockingham in Perth.
Oh, was it the not the Edgertons? There's another brothers.
Not the Hemsworths.
Not the Hemsworths. The one that's married to a famous lady. Go on.
Fuck, who is it? It's on.
There are other brothers.
There's other brothers. Sam Worthington.
Worthingtons. That's And who is he married to? A famous lady, I bet.
Is married to Lara Bingle.
See, we get
Yes,
we get
and there was
there.
a huge outcry because everyone thought she was going to marry Michael Clark, the cricketer, and then they broke up.
Worthington. That's it.
Yes.
See, Perth's got it.
Perth's bloody got it, baby. Troy
Also-
Sivan's from there as well.
Who?
Troy Sivan.
Huge.
I know.
And Ms. Beck Charlotte.
Okay, stop. I'll piss.
Another shout out to Alex Lee, another comedian.
Oh my God, friend of ours, a
Friend
colleague
of
of
ours.
yours.
And she had 2 pretty chunky newsreader bits right at the end. She was the main giving exposition lady.
And
at
she
the
was also
end.
heavily pregnant while filming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So after, we'll head over to the Patreon to hear about that. But after we saw the screening, I was texting with her like, tell me what it was like. And she was heavily pregnant when filming it. Got to set at 4 p.m. They did not start shooting till 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
And there's a few other little bits and pieces as well. But
It's so crazy how much being on set is just waiting. Just waiting and waiting and
Right?
waiting.
yeah, that's like 7 hours of just waiting.
Because there's just so many things that need to be set up and done and in place before they call action.
That was definitely one thing. And I mean, they couldn't possibly show it in the film because the film would be 10 hours long. But the turnaround times for resetting scenes and resetting explosions was all very quick in this film.
Yeah. yeah.
It's like, what an efficient set this is.
Oh, yeah. They did like 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So what did you think about Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt together?
Oh, love them. They're perfect leading man and lady.
I really
And
believed them. I loved their cute, flirty banter. It felt really natural. I think that's another reason I found this fun is it didn't feel overly scripted in the I mean, there's obviously like big lines and stuff that are just like action packed.
there was so many lines that felt off the cuff.
But they did, yeah, all their little banter and when they're flirting. I don't know, it just felt like maybe a bit of it was improvised. Like, because there was just little moments. Oh, when he's in the car listening to Taylor Swift and cry.
Oh my God, All Too Well as well. The real breakup song from Taylor Swift. For anyone who isn't, everyone's like, oh, you belong with me and we're never getting back together. No, All Too Well, every goddamn time. 10-minute version. Thank you.
And then when she's sitting in the car with him, this is just like an example of a moment that just felt really natural and so the camera's focused on him, like she's in the foreground, but she's blurry. So it's focused on him. So I imagine the scene was just meant to be him in focus. And he says to her, do you want to do some donuts? And she just looks at him and she goes like this. But we're just seeing her blurry do this. And then she goes like this. And then she goes like this. So it's a cute moment. Oh, sorry, this is an audio medium. She shakes her head, then nods, then shakes it again. And it was a cute moment that, I don't know how you'd script that. It just felt like it's something that happened and they didn't expect it to. The camera wasn't even focused on her. But I think that's another reason I found this so fun is it just felt kind of like real and normal.
And it also really gets to the core of the cheesy core of a lot of reality, which
Yeah.
is like everyone just wants to be loved. Like there's all of this big like shit going on, but if you've got a crush on someone, that's all you're thinking about.
Genuinely. And I did love that they didn't write her being like, fuck you or anything. Like she's still, you could tell there was, her heart was still belonged to him.
Yeah.
And she was just angry, but that wasn't a big stake either. They kind of got through that pretty quickly. And I was like, yay.
Yeah. From the start, I was like, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, that was
They're going to be okay. Oh my God. You know who else was in this? And I almost forgot because he was weirdly unrecognizable is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh.
I haven't seen him play like a proper douche, like an American douche.
Who did he play?
Tom Ryder.
No, that's Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yes.
I did not realize that.
Right.
Oh my
For a
God,
second,
how
I thought he was, when he came on screen, I was like, oh, it's Logan Paul,
Yeah.
who would have been amazing in this role.
Totally.
But he would have also insisted on doing his own stunts because now he's a wrestler.
True.
But yeah, seeing him play an American douche, I don't think I've seen it before. And it was refreshing because Bullet Train made me too horny for him and it needed to be stopped.
So this is the guy that's married to the old lady, right?
Yes. Yeah. I know. But
Right.
they've
Like,
got
you have to-
kids and it's...
I love that you're like, I know. Look, we all feel the same way.
I just feel bad because I don't like. There's so many dudes that do it all the time, and I don't think there's as much public scrutiny and commentary on that.
Definitely.
There's like jokes about it, and we like laugh about it, but with this, people get really serious and are like, "She groomed him." I was like, "Yeah, dudes have been doing this forever." I'm not like Abby, like so go
So it's
off,
fine.
queen, pop off. But people get every time there's a post about
100%.
them, the comments are like, "Fuck this bitch," and like, it's anyway.
Well, like just
If you're gonna do that,
recently-
every time you see Al Pacino, I want the same energy.
Good call. Great call. Like just recently, the Anthony Kiedis photos that went around of him. He's like 63 and his 19-year-old girlfriend. Was that Anthony Kiedis?
Oh, but
I think
he's
it was.
always been like that. Like even when he was dating Ione Skye, she was like 16.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She's on Last Video Store next week.
Yeah. She's a proper Hollywood
Plug.
star.
Wow.
So crazy because Ione Skye's now married to Ben Lee, who is a beloved Australian indie musician who has some of like the cutest, most adorable songs, and they're so cute together. And then she's like a proper like Hollywood starlet,
So cool.
and was also I think married to Anthony Kiedis
Jesus Christ.
at one point, but they were dating for a long time. Yeah.
Another shout out to cast member, which I didn't clock the first time I watched it and only clocked it this time around. Stephanie Zhu from Everything Everywhere All at Once
my
is
God.
in this film.
Yes.
I did not clock her the first time around. How random.
I know. I'm glad to see her getting more roles because she
Yes.
was so brilliant in that movie. And I've been meaning to, I think she's in Joyride as well,
Oh, cool.
which I've been meaning
Cool.
to see.
She's so funny. I really, really enjoyed her in this role.
Yeah.
as
She's
well.
an improviser. That's why.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, not unsurprisingly, the stunts in this film are fucking incredible.
Oh, duh. Oh, are you going to shut down the Sydney Harbour Bridge for no reason? I don't think so.
Like those, that the whole sequence in the skip bin.
That was literally my favorite too. I was like, how
was
the
very
fuck did they shoot this? I have so many questions for Ben when he comes on.
because he's the main guy in that scene.
Yeah. And I think he definitely would have had to do like some stuff
Surely.
himself.
Because he's very visible in a lot of the shots.
Yeah.
It's very visibly him.
Yeah.
And how spinning around and stuff.
I was crazy.
And Luke obviously looks at the logistics of everything. And so, you know, the big explosion in the Sydney Harbour at the end when he jumps the boat.
Yeah.
And how would they would have had to tell every resident who lives in the vicinity of Sydney Harbour that there is a film being shot and do not call 000. This is not a real explosion.
Oh, I mean, I guess they probably would have used that service that tells you when there's like an old person missing in your neighborhood. Did you get those
Yeah.
texts? They're so sad. They're like,
really sad.
police are looking for 84-year-old
84
Cheryl.
God.
She wandered away from her. It's like,
Cheryl.
oh, God.
Part of me just wants to go for a walk and just see if she's around.
Yeah.
If I can help out. But yeah, how like just the logistics of that. Because imagine like people would think there's a terrorist attack or something.
Well, the Australian mentality will be like, well, it's not my problem. Like
It'll be she'll be right.
Yeah.
Someone else.
So I'm sure someone, exactly. Someone else is dealing with this. What's on the other side of the harbour? That's the enemy. Well, did they shoot it on the north side or the south side of the harbour? Because if it was the south side of the harbour, the south side people would care, but the north would let us die.
Would prefer it, actually.
They'd blow up the bridge before they asked.
Oh, dear. And Hannah Waddington.
Oh,
and
my
her
God.
shoulders.
Her and Brunette, jump scare.
Yeah. Almost unrecognisable.
Yeah. But her energy was great in this. She really reminded me of so many women I know in show business who are just ball busters, who are just like always on it, in it, locked in to the industry in a way that a lot of the men are. Can I say the best managers are women?
Of course.
Hands
And I know exactly who you're thinking about right now. As soon as you started describing that person, I knew exactly who you were thinking about. Yeah.
Yes. And obviously the person I'm talking about is amazing at her job and wonderful and wouldn't frame someone for murder.
Sure. No, there is a divergence in the two people that we're thinking about at some point. But I loved her. I thought she was so funny. Like, of course she's funny because she was in Ted Lasso, but she had such a straighty 180 character.
Yeah. It was cool. Like, I really liked how dry all of her lines were and like...
And she was just manic, and how she's always sucking on the Diet Coke straw.
Oh my God, yes. Can we talk about one of the most addictive substances right now, and that is Diet Coke or Coke no sugar? Do you know someone who's addicted to one of those things?
I don't, but I know someone who used to be, and like it's one of those stories of like 3 liters a day.
Yeah. I know. I think that there's 3 people in my family that are...
Oh my gosh, sorry, Michelle. Sorry for throwing you under the bus here, but my mum,
Yeah.
so addicted to Coke Zero.
Yes, always got one in the hand. Like if I
Fridge
go
is
over to a
always
family member's
stacked.
house, I know they've got a 24-pack somewhere.
Yep. I know that if when I'm visiting my parents, if I need a little caffeine kick, don't need to make a coffee, just head to the fridge. There's 24 cans of Coke Zero.
Oh yeah. And we need to cut it out. We need to stop it, okay?
Sure.
Forget the fentanyl thing. That can wait. This is more important.
Wait. Coke full fat all the way.
Load me up with sugar, mama.
But yeah, Hannah, she was fantastic. I hope to see her in more stuff as well in like very funny, silly comedic roles. I'm really glad that she was able to branch out and break out from the Ted Lasso role. Like, I reckon it could be really easy to get typecast in that kind of like uppity English, proper lady character. And instead, she got something really fun. So fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And she obviously benches, bro, because her shoulders are fucking incredible.
Yeah. It's
their goals.
Fucking sick. I will say one thing that I wish this movie had, like, pacing wise, I think we could have had a bit more of a slow introduction to Tom Ryder is like missing, or
yes,
that all felt really rushed. Like, he's here,
rushed.
He's not actually here for this reason. Oh, and then because there was a big Hannah Waddington's character had to do a big chunk of exposition, and it was like a paragraph of her being like, the reason that I've brought you here is because you need to go find him. You have 48 hours to do so. Otherwise, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I would have liked if 2 of those points came out over time instead of just being in that paragraph, because it felt a little bit forced.
Excellent point. I fully agree. And even watching it a second time, I was like, no, I really have to listen, because I remember being confused the first time. Because then blink, and then all of a sudden he's at that club and he's seeing unicorns, like, and then blink, and then all of a sudden he's driving a boat in Sydney Harbour, like stuff. Yeah. And it is an exposition heavy storyline because there's a lot of double crossing and stuff. So to get the full effect of it, you really do need to listen to that heavy exposition. Yeah, I think that could have been paced out.
I've just realized you jog my memory with the club scene. I know the drug dealer. I swear I know, and not like, he's not my guy. No, I don't have a guy anymore. What was it? Because he's a Kiwi actor.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like he is from What We Do in the Shadows, which might be a borderline racist thing to say. Just all Kiwi actors like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were in What We Do in the Shadows. Which I'm still watching the TV series and I'm fucking loving.
Hell yeah.
He is not in What We Do in the Shadows. I apologize to the nation of New Zealand and your very talented actors. I understand that not every
We know you have more than one.
New Zealand actor is in What We Do in the Shadows. But it's a really good show. All right, well, those are our thoughts on Fall Guy. Let us know yours in the DMs, in the Patreon chat, wherever.
And join us next week, of course, when we speak to Big Red Mr. Ben Knight.
And that is his Instagram handle. That's not a nickname that we've given him.
I noticed they actually called him that. Someone called him Big Red in the movie. I was like, I wonder, it was chicken or the egg, which one came first? So I do have a small screen recommendation for this week.
Yeah.
It's not something so much that I've been watching. It's just more an algorithm I've found myself as a part of lately. And I am currently on Kmart TikTok.
What?
Now, for any international listeners, our Kmart is different to your Kmart.
Yes. I get the feeling that our Kmart is your Target.
Yes. And your Kmart is more like, it feels like it's more like hardware and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kmart is very much our target. It's like affordable homewares. Everyone loves Anko. Anko is the brand name. And there is just a whole side of TikTok where people are doing more like the Kmart clothes, Kmart try-on hauls. And I don't know if it's because I'm suddenly on this side of TikTok or if this has always been the case, but Kmart has some nice clothes.
Oh my God.
And I've got a little list going of all of the items I've seen lately on TikTok, and when I get a chance, I'm like going shopping at Kmart for clothes.
Yeah. You haven't been buying Kmart clothes?
I always go straight to homewares when I go into Kmart. It is always homewares. That's my browse.
You are
stationery as well.
Missing out. Their clothes are great. These pants are Kmart. Let me do a little fashion show.
Show me.
That out. Cut
leave
that out.
that in.
No, that's too much ass.
That was a great ass shot. Well, your ass looks great in them. And so I hope I never leave this side of the algorithm because it's just really nice to be like, oh, I could get a hoodie for $20.
Yeah.
Not 60. Because something that I've learned from, and I totally agree with, from being on this side of TikTok is that the other affordable places, like for your basics, this is just what I'll be buying is like my basics. Cotton On, $120 for a fucking jacket these days.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so
Cotton On
expensive.
prices are just expensive prices now.
And a lot of Cotton On I find is really poor quality. Like it wears really quickly, and particularly like singlets and t-shirts, the like sleeves go
Mine
really
shrink
quickly.
straight away. Like any tanks I buy now are just a crop. So like, and that's fine to have lower quality stuff. I'm happy for that at a lower quality price point, which is what Kmart is. So, you know, obviously I'm not into fast fashion consumerism and stuff, but
in a cost of living crisis, it's
basics
very
that you just
hard to
need.
ethically source everything.
Yeah, like I need to wear a top every day to work. So that's my small screen record. If you can somehow weasel your way into Kmart haul try on side of TikTok, it's really fun.
Nice. I have medium screen recos because I have been living by myself for these 2 weeks. And I realized
long ass 2 weeks.
I'm used to having like just skip around the house, and we talk so much that it's been really quiet. And so I've just been putting a lot of stuff on in the background.
Love.
And the thing that I put on in the background is something that we currently are in the middle of reviewing. But I put on season 1 of Hacks.
I love that.
And to go back
That's so smart.
Because now in season 3, they are revisiting the original plot points of season 1. And it's really cool. It's just a well-written show, and the characters are so cool.
And so well developed too. I'm also realizing it's like they always say they don't always say, but something I learned when I was writing a pilot during lockdown project is that a well-developed character is one that when presented with a situation, the audience will know how that character will respond.
Yes.
Like can predict how they'll respond.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with Hacks is I feel like I know these characters so well. Obviously things surprise you, but Whereas in other shows and other things, I'm just like, I have no idea where this is going to go or what they are because they're just not
crazy.
Yeah, but with Hacks, I'm like, I feel like I know them so intimately.
Yes, yeah. And also being comedy obsessed too, where like,
Of
I
course.
know that character type. Like, I just watched the episode where Deborah Vance pays that comic to never do comedy again. And I was like, oh, a
Wow.
dream, a fantasy of mine.
Yeah.
I actually was at a dinner with a bunch of comics a little while ago, and I threw this question in the middle. It's like, if you could pick one person to stop doing stand-up forever, who would it be? And we talked, it was like a 90-minute conversation
I'm
of
so
deliberating who
jealous.
it would be and why.
Oh, I would have loved to fly on the wall that. Well, you can tell me off mic.
Absolutely.
I have thoughts. Yeah, cool. So a rewatch of Hacks. Hell
Rewatching
yeah.
Hacks, baby. And still on What We Do in the Shadows TV series. It's exquisite.
Nice. Cool.
All right, well, that's our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week with something else.
Potentially anyone but you, but we'll chat.
We'll chat. We'll discuss.
And we'll be back on Friday with our Patreon episode with Mr. Ben Knight.
Yes.
Which you can get on Patreon, but you can also get it on, if you're an Apple user, in the Apple feed. You can subscribe there if you just want it direct to your feed.
Okay, well, we
love you.
We love you.
Bye.